Louis Vuitton and why its popularity is dropping. That's what I want to discuss with you guys today. Please stay with me. Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Oksana. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. I truly appreciate your support. Today I want to talk about Louis Vuitton because lately, at least luxury YouTubers that I'm following and much more, mostly now trend is about Hermes, and everybody is talking about Hermes. Even Chanel, which is always to me almost out of trend, it's always popular. Even with Chanel, it's kind of getting slower and slower, but Louis Vuitton is truly struggling right now, and it also shows on their report, economical report. Now, the sales are dropping. I mean, it's not just a Louis Vuitton, clearly many other brands, but when we talk about trifecta of the luxury brands, the ones that always on top, we are talking about, or at least those ones that don't go on sale, you know, or their handbags don't go on sale, it's clearly Louis Vuitton, it's Chanel, and it's Hermes. There's so many other brands which is luxury, but you know that they mostly don't really retain the value, as a Dior, as a Fendi, as a Prada, as a YSL, and so on and so forth. But today I want to specifically talk about Louis Vuitton and why its popularity is dropping, because no matter what was the trends before, Louis Vuitton was always almost kind of like, you know, stepping stone into true luxury, because before at Louis Vuitton there was so many items in somewhat reasonable bracket, you know, for the luxury items, and clearly there was always some exclusive pieces, even 10 years ago or 20 or 15 or 100 years ago for that matter. But there was always somewhat reasonable prices. And I remember a while ago, I think it was about maybe even 4 or 5 years ago, when I watched Minx for All, she always mentioning that her bracket for Louis Vuitton handbag is under $2,000 American. And right now, if you really look at the prices of Louis Vuitton, you literally almost cannot find anything under 2,000 US. We are talking about almost close to small leather goods or tiniest handbags, and even those, it seems that they're almost above $2,000 with exceptions of few. So clearly what I'm gonna say today is my personal opinion. It doesn't set in stone. It's what I personally think of the decline of the popularity of the brands. And I have few points. I literally put a few points for myself. I truly believe that major decline in popularity of Louis Vuitton started with COVID. And I think it's because Louis Vuitton, quite loud, luxury brand, and we are talking about Monogram, we are talking even about their damier bean print, or they're still somewhat very recognizable. It's pretty much like Fendi Zucca, you know, print. It's very loud. And before, when we were talking about Louis Vuitton, it was always about monogram print. It's always about kind of loud logo. It was always about bold designs. But with the COVID, and when people start losing jobs, it almost becomes kind of like unelegant and almost like unpopular to dress in loud fashion. It becomes more and more popular muted fashion, or like, you know, quiet luxury, what everybody is using term right now, but I will come back to that. And my personal opinion, the true decline started at COVID time. It was somewhat little bit shaky before COVID because Chanel was really on a rise. Hermes was stepping up in popularity among the regular people per se. But true decline started with COVID, and I think it's once again because people start losing jobs, and if you're wearing something loud, everybody is looking at you almost with kind of judgment, if I may say, because even myself, I noticed I could wear, like, for instance, my Della Hermes handbag, which is very few people can recognize, and nobody like even look at me or anything. But then I will pull out my wallet, which is Louis Vuitton, and I notice that cashier right away starts staring at that Louis Vuitton wallet because it's so loud per se. So that's my opinion, and that's where it started. The second point, it was the second point why the popularity started dropping, it's, in my humble opinion, because of the really silly, crazy prices increase in the last 3 years that's happened with the Louis Vuitton. And I'm talking about like really drastic increase in prices. And I will give you an example. I got this handbag before COVID, clearly. I think it was 18 or 19, doesn't matter, but I mean before 2020. And when I got it, it was 2,400 Canadian, so it's clearly under 2,000 US. And it was already with the price increase that I got, and even at that point it was you know, a little bit above the what I want to spend. Right now, and most likely I'm gonna include the picture, the price of this handbag, let me just double check, just want to make sure. So right now price is $34.50. We are talking about 1,000 plus increase. So it's almost like a 50% increase, you know, in last 3 years or so. So it's really crazy. The next example, for example, my OnTheGo. When I purchased this handbag, and this is one of the first ones that they start have that chip inside, because there is no even code, there is a chip inside of this handbag. And I also got it already with the price increase, and I believe when I got it, it was about 38 or 37 Canadian. Once again, all the prices I'm talking about, it's Canadian, because clearly I situated in Canada. And right now it's 4,350 before taxes. So with the taxes and everything, because we have 13%, it's about 4,800, which is like absolutely crazy. And I mean, I love this handbag. And inside you can see I have my Zumoni organizer. If you're interested in organizers, guys, I highly recommend Zumoni. Prices are very, very reasonable. I have a discount code, it's in the description box if you want. So the next example, for example, it's my Louis Vuitton Twist handbag, and I put my Hermes Twilly over here, and I really love this style because it has separate top handle and it has detachable strap, so I really love that. And also, even I have a tag. The tag doesn't come by default with the handbag, but I put a tag, and I think it's really, really cute. I really love design of the twist. It's so unique. There is no any other brand that has this kind of shape, or you know, I love the design of the lock itself. That's why it's called twist, so it's moving. Really love it. Anyway, when I got it, keeping in mind that it's in epi leather, and epi leather is one of the less expensive leathers for Hermes, for Louis Vuitton. Hermes, I'm doing so many videos of Hermes. And at that point, you know, when I got it, because say an average handbag in epi leather was about 2,000, maybe a little bit more Canadian. This bag, when I got it, it was about 4,400 Canadian, and it was really expensive at that time. Right now there's so many variations that it's even more expensive, but I'm looking at exactly the same style, so it's going to be exact comparison. So right now this handbag, $6,050 on the website before taxes, and as I mentioned, in Canada we have 13% taxes, specifically in Toronto, Ontario, so it's close to 67, maybe even more, 6,700 Canadian before taxes. Absolutely crazy. Say the last example will be also my Louis Vuitton OnTheGo in monogram and kind of giant monogram. When I got this bag, it was about 3,100. Right now, let me just double check the price for you guys. Right now it's $3,950. Just $50 shy away from 4,000. Once again, an absolutely crazy price increase. So I say, if before someone who wants to kind of, you know, dip their toes into a luxury, say somebody who's just off the college or university and they're looking for their first job and they got the job, they want to reward themselves, like, you know, they always, like, let's say, hey, I want to go to Louis Vuitton and get my first luxury handbag. So nowadays it almost becomes impossible, because even their basic handbags are way out of price reach, I would say, for the average consumer. But if you're talking about special pieces, they're right now at the price of Chanel and Hermes, and so and above, some pieces even above. So anyway, I think the second reason why the popularity of Louis Vuitton is dropping is because the prices are really high comparing to what you're getting for your money. Third point, it's kind of pretty much almost tied to the price point. The prices are going up, but sadly the quality of Louis Vuitton handbags were in the last several years dropping drastically. There was so many recalls of so many handbags, including this one, and I guess an average consumer, I would say, get tired that, you know, you're buying the handbag, you want to enjoy it for many years to come, but then at the end you have to go and deal with the customer service, explaining yourself, and then it's up to the customer service if they decide, okay, we want to kind of honor you the exchange or money return, something like that. But at the end of the day, it's always, if you're a valued customer for them and they want to keep you as a customer, then they will exchange. Let's say if it's a random person who just purchased one handbag, I bet you're gonna have not the bestest chance to either get your money back or even exchange, because they would say it's a normal wear and tear, etc. So I would say the quality is dropping quite drastically. The prices are going up. It's also contribute the major factor of the contribution to fall of the popularity of Louis Vuitton, in my humble opinion. And the last, I would say, not the least, and I would say it's kind of pretty much ties with my first point when I said I believe it's all started during the COVID. It's kind of rise of quiet luxury. Everybody, like, I don't know, and their dogs talking about quiet luxury right now. Everybody is talking about Hermes and quiet luxury, but in my humble opinion, Hermes nowadays, there is nothing quiet about it, because if you're buying the handbags that Hermes is popular for, then it's nothing quiet about that. If you're buying the handbags from Hermes, which is kind of almost like, I don't know, vintage and very, very exclusive to some kind of seasons that nobody knows, that maybe it will be quite luxury, or some styles that nobody knows or they are not popular, it might be quite luxury, but mostly it's like also becoming quite recognizable per se. But the trend right now, it's about quiet luxury. There is not much logo. It's more about refined lines, about more luxurious fabric, about like really nice tailoring and stuff. And clearly anything with logo, such as a monogram, doesn't say, you know, quite luxury anymore. You are really screaming loud about your design preference. And I notice like lately, as I said, I don't really wear much of my Louis Vuitton, but even if I wear, say, Chanel handbag with the logo up front, right away I notice that people commenting about the handbag. And even when I wear my Chanel, I try to kind of turn them around that the logo is not visible, because quilting, of course, it's kind of recognizable by Chanel. It's been introduced by Chanel, but so many brands right now doing quilting, so it's not Chanel only. They are clearly copying Chanel, but it's not Chanel only. So I would say the quiet luxury trend really almost damaged the popularity of Louis Vuitton. Again, that's my very, very humble opinion. Do I think that this trend of quiet luxury and Louis Vuitton is not as popular will continue for many years to come? I don't think so. You know, it's always what goes around comes around, and right now clearly Hermes on top of their game, they are on high horse. But believe me, it will go down. It will go down because economic is in very shaky situation right now, and people are more and more kind of stepping back from spending an obscene amount of money. And I noticed even on Hermes website, more and more often you can see that handbags are available. Exclude the Canadian website. On Canadian website, nothing is ever available. Sometimes I'm thinking they're even doing this intentionally. But I really believe that this kind of low popularity of Louis Vuitton and the monogram and kind of logo mania, if I could say, it's temporary state. And even Chanel right now is not as popular as Hermes, but I'm absolutely positive, and let's talk about it, let's say in 5 years or so, that in 5 years or so Chanel will go up in popularity, Louis Vuitton will go up in popularity, and you never know, maybe Hermes will go down. It's always gonna have that niche of people that truly love Hermes for whatever it is. But if you're talking about the general public and kind of rewarding yourself with the luxury items for achieving something in your life, I truly believe that Chanel and Louis Vuitton will bounce back in popularity, I would say, in the next 5 years or so. I want to know what you think. Am I right or am I completely wrong? Do you think Chanel, or let's talk about Louis Vuitton in this video. Do you think Louis Vuitton will go back in popularity? I truly believe it will. I truly believe it will. So that's about it. That's what I want to say today. Please guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, because I truly need your support. Put your comments, what you think of this topic in general. And I guess thank you very much for watching, especially if you watched all the way to the end. And I will see you on my next one. Bye bye.